Wall texts. Text 1. The beginnings of the railway in Portugal. Portugal, in the 1800s, is seen by all as a country lacking a set of infrastructures considered minimal in relation to other countries in Europe, especially from the standpoint of the territorial organization and its use. Therefore, it was necessary to think about the creation of a useful and effective modern communications network. In the 1840s, with the arrival of Costa Cabral to the government, there was an increase in the policy of development of transport routes. Under the auspices of Luís I of Portugal, the Companhia das Obras Públicas de Portugal was established on the 19th of December 1844 with the objective of developing the undertakings necessary to foster internal communications, roads, railways, Porto customs and the bar of the Douro River, considering the country's connection to Europe and the Americas. Priorities: one railway connecting the capital to Spain and another between Lisbon and Porto. Despite the facilities granted, the Companhia is unable to meet its objectives, and the worsening of its financial situation caused its dissolution in 1855. It was only in the second half of the 19th century that the necessary conditions were met to build a railway in Portugal, which ended up being imposed by turning to foreign capital and companies. In August 1852, the railway construction contract was awarded to the Englishman Hardy Hislop, and the works began in May 1853. To support the policy of material improvements, a new kingdom ministry, the Ministério das Obras Públicas, Comércio e Indústria, was created on the 30th of August 1852. After many vicissitudes and the government taking responsibility for the construction works, the first stretch of railway in Portugal between Lisbon and Carregado was inaugurated on the 28th of October 1856. The train reached the border in 1863 and Porto in 1877. In 1882 and 1887, the Beira Alta and Douro lines were completed, respectively. The Oeste line and the Beira Baixa line were completed in 1888 and in 1893, respectively. In the south, the train connected Barreiro to Setúbal, Évora and Beja, respectively, in 1861, 1863 and 1864. The line reached Faro in 1889 and Vila Real de Santo António in 1906. The Douro line is the starting point of the 4-meter gauge railways in the Trás-os-Montes region, the Tâmega line to Liberação to Baúlho, the Corgo line from Régua to Chaves, the Tua line from Foz Tua to Bragança, and the Sabor line from Pocinho to Miranda do Douro. Text 2. Beginning of construction works on the railway. António Joaquim de Santa Bárbara, 1838-1864. 1853. Watercolour illustrating the solemn opening of the beginning of the construction works of the railway in Portugal, with the presence of Queen Maria II and King Fernando at the opening ceremony of the earthworks in Beato for the railway of the Companhia Central Peninsular do Caminho de Ferro Português on the 7th of May 1853, dedicated to the Count of Farrobo. FMNF ENT 000976, Fundação Museu Nacional Ferroviário, National Railway Museum Foundation. Text 3. The Royal Train's arrival at Carregado on the 28th of October 1856. António Joaquim de Santa Bárbara, 1838-1864. 1856. Watercolour illustrating the first train journey in Portugal with the presence of the royal family and a large number of people at the official opening of the last line, dedicated to King Fernando. FMNF ENT 000978, Fundação Museu Nacional Ferroviário, National Railway Museum Foundation. Text 4. Ticket number 5 of the inaugural train journey between Lisbon and Carregado on the 28th of October 1856. 1856. FMNF ENT 001057, Fundação Museu Nacional Ferroviário, National Railway Museum Foundation. Text 5. Ticket Cabinet, 20th century. FMNF BRA 002399. Ticket cabinet used in stations and placed beside the ticket for the packaging of cardboard tickets. It has 140 rows of storage distributed over 6 shelves. Text 6. Photo 1. Railway map in Portugal, 1895. Railway Gazette, January 1895. Photo 2. Mirandela Gar, Ocidente Magazine number 473, 11th of February of 1892. Photo 3. Inauguration ceremony of the Tua line at the railway station of Bragança, 1st of December of 1906. Unknown author. The narrow gauge railway. In Portugal, the narrow gauge option arose in response to the need to develop railways in areas lacking efficient and cheap transport, but whose degree of development led to insufficient traffic forecasts to justify the construction of a wide line. In fact, despite a significant reduction in load capacity and commercial speed, the narrow track gauge distance between the inner sides of the rails, 1000 mm in this case, allows a substantial reduction in the costs of the first establishment. The Tua Line. The Tua Line is a narrow gauge railway connection that linked the Foz Tua station on the Douro Line to Bragança. The line is 134 km long and follows the course of the Tua River Valley from its mouth to Mirandela. It then crosses the plateau of Trás-os-Montes to Bragança, passing through the highest station in the country, Roças, at 849 meters high. The line was built in two phases. The stretch between Foz Tua and Mirandela was inaugurated in September 1887 in the presence of King Louis I. The construction of the track to Bragança was postponed for financial reasons and was only completed in 1906. The inauguration took place on the 1st of December when the station was still unfinished. Most of the line is now closed. In January 1992, the stretch between Mirandela and Bragança was closed. Only 16 km stretch is still in operation, as used by the Metro de Mirandela, out of which only 4 km are used between Mirandela and Carvalhais. The Foz Tua Dam reservoir submerged 16 km off the line, cutting off its connection with the national rail network. Text 8. Tools. Double end wrench, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2381. Oil can with pump and plunger valve, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2376. Lug wrench, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2382. Lubrification syringe, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2375. Ratchet, 20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2374. Measurement gauge, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2370. Auger, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2369. Ballast fork, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2371. Railroad pick, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2372. Shovel, 19th-20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2373. Text 9. The infrastructures on the Tua rail line. Railway, signage and structural works. The Tua rail line, originally called the Mirandela line, is currently thus named because of how most of the line runs alongside the Tua River. This line represented a single-line, narrow-gauge, metric rail link around 133,800 meters long, linking Foz do Tua on the Douro rail line to the city of Bragança in the Trás-os-Montes region. Its construction took place in two phases. For the first stretch, from Foz Tua to Mirandela, 54,100 kilometers long, work was begun in April 1885 and it first went into operation in September 1887. For the second stretch, from Mirandela to Bragança, 79,700 kilometers long, construction started in 1902 and it went into operation in successive stretches, the first to Romeu, followed by Macedo Cavaleiros and finally Sendas by the late 1905, and then the stretch to Roças and finally ending up at Bragança in December 1906. The layout's general features. The solution adopted for the Tua rail line's layout was devised by engineer António Xavier de Almeida Pinheiro, who submitted a solution whereby the rail line runs along the left bank of the Tua Valley. This solution was chosen over the layout previously submitted by military engineer João José Pereira Dias, which proposed a rail line along the river's right bank. The Tua rail line is an example of a remarkable feat of engineer, particularly in the first 20 kilometers, a bold move at the time. The main rail line managed to overcome enormous granite cliffs along a route overlooking the Tua River. Construction difficulties are highlighted by the number of structural works set up along the line's first several kilometers. Out of a total of 10 tunnels built, 5 are located there, together with 3 bridges and 3 culverts. Along with these structural works, the extent of the rail line compromises tight dry stone walls, which looks more like a fortress wall made up of 170,000 cubic meters of masonry. Construction difficulties didn't stop here and can be seen in the countless structural works along the entire lay, thereby ensuring the continuity of the main rail line. The nature of the quite rough, difficult terrain caused a few uncertainties that remained during the layout study, thus giving rise to several corrections and adaptations during the construction process. The Fragasmage overpass, which is an example of this, became accessible after opening the 2 tunnels between which it is encased. This is also why the layout could not be outlined at the site during the project design state. Wall text that indicates the objects hanging on the wall. Here we show the exhibitions that were part of the everyday life of the railway and the passages of the tour line. The rescue and preservation of these exhibits allow us to show to current and future generations the indelible marks left by the train. More than heritage, this installation is a tribute to all who have allowed these exhibits to reach nowadays. Text 10. Flag Casebox ME55 1947 from FMNF BRA 00 2390. Accessory vehicle box for transporting the cloth flags required for in-service signaling communication, position and announcement signs which indicate the weather conditions of the train's route and inform station staff. In metal, which allows high resistance to unfavorable conditions to which it is subject, like heat and dirt from the locomotive floor and track. It belonged to the steam locomotive of the narrow gauge CPE 55, previous CN5, Machine and Fabric Emil Kessler, 1989. See inscription ME55. Flags 19th 20th century FMNF BRA 00 2391, FMNF BRA 00 2392, FMNF BRA 000 254. Portable signal in red, yellow and green, used during the day, in accordance with the indications to transmit to trains, used by employees in railway crossings, station and trains. Red flag unfurled, stopping sign, orders an immediate stop. Yellow flag unfurled, precaution sign, order speed reduction. Green flag unfurled until 1982 and red flag rolled up indicates that the railway is clear. Detonator box E82 1947 from FMNF BRA 00 2385. Container for storing and transporting firecrackers, a complementary portable acoustic signal used by employees in stations, trains and tracks to reinforce stop signal indication. The explosion of capsules placed on rail when crushed by the vehicle wheels warns acoustically for a dangerous situation and orders the driver to do an immediate stop and/or a speed reduction. It belonged to steam locomotive E82, previous CN2, Machine and Fabric Emil Kessler, 1887. See the inscription. Tail light PR2, number 6E, train inspection station, Tour, kilometer 0 on the Tour line, Portugal, 1886, FMNF BRA 00 2386. Optical, portable and bright signaling objects. Train signal indicates the conditions in which a train travels. Red light, used at night, on the back of the carriage to indicate that the train is full. The hook in the back allows fitting in the rolling stock, locomotive, carriages or coaches. It was the lantern number 6 attached to the narrow tour station, namely in Poste de Revision of Tour Station, where the rolling stock was prepared and verified by the revision train service. See inscription PR Tour number 6E. Unit of light 5466. 90th 20th centuries FMNF BRA 00 2387. Optical, portable and bright signaling object. It transmits according to a code of colors, orders that must be carried out immediately, related to train circulation or to execute maneuvers. Units of light are used by circulation agents and are activated by a lamp inside. The intensity of the light must be enough to be seen by the driver. also known as a hand lamp. Being in brass, it would belong to the most important station of the line. It shows the identification number of the agent whom it belonged, 5466. Gasometer, PR Bragança. Train Inspection Station, Bragança. Kilometer 133,128 kilometers on the Tour line, Portugal, 20th century. FMNF BRA 00 2389. It is used indoor and outdoor lighting for mobile or fixed use. It has two separate tanks, one for water and the other one for calcium carbide. Water falling on the carbide produces acetylene, and the flame, resulting from the combustion of the acetylene, has illuminating powers, also known as acetylene gas. According to the inscription, it belonged to the Posto de Revisão de Bragança. Text 11. Ticket cabinet, 20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2400. Ticket cabinet for car ticket storage with 8 rows of storage, placed beside the ticket office, also known as locker. Ticket dating machine, 2057, 90th, 20th century, FMNF BRA 00 2401 A. Cardboard ticket to mark the date, considering that the ticket has already all other indications printed, commonly known as branding machine. Identified by the number 2057, it makes set with a box of wedges for ticket dating machine. Box of stamps for ticket dating machine, 2057, 90th, 20th century. FMNF BRA 00 2401 B. Box of wedges for ticket dating machine. It includes different items in varying quantities, numbers from 0 to 9, 12 months, spaces, half spaces and tweezers, together with a ticket dating machine and the number 2057 according to the indication on the box. Emergency whistle, 20th century, FMNF ENT 000 359. Portable warning audible signal of acute sound. It was used exclusively by the station master. One ring orders train departure. Repeated rings are an alarm signal or a cancellation signal to start order. Horn, 20th century, FMNF BRA 000 251. Portable warning audible signal used by many rail agents, station staff, a bass sound, driver, an acute sound, and inspectors of the line. It complements the service of the inspectors of the line with flag, box of detonators, and unit of light. Guard's ticket wallet, 20th century, FMNF ENT 000 256. An individual object used by the guard, usually compact, rectangular and foldable, with internal partitions. Guard's ticket bag. In the 1950s, from FMNF BRA 00 250. Bag used by the guards to transport tickets, ticket nipper, and documentation needed for the performance of his duties. It presents CP's monogram. Hat, CP, Rodrigues e Rodrigues Sarl, Lisbon, Portugal, 1978. From FMNF BRA 00 2458. Worn by the station, train and overall staff. This model emerged by regulation in December 1971. Desk phone, 510. LM Ericsson & Company, manufacturer, Stockholm, Sweden, 1892. FMNF BRA 00 2397. Manual desk phone, Ericsson model, operating with magnet, composed of earphone, isolating handle and microphone. Used for internal messages between stations and other points of the track, example, level crossings, signaling posts. Text 12. Wall phone, LM Ericsson & Company, manufacturer, Sweden, 1911. FMNF ENT 00 1431. It was used for communication between stations, recommended in those connected by the same line that make calls simultaneously. Equipped with bells and 5 magnets, activated by a crank that generates enough current to make a call. Equipped with a handheld handset, suspended on a switch hook and button to interrupt the current receiver of the receiver and the bell. Text 13. Museum Technical Acknowledgements. National Railway Museum of Bragança. Technical Acknowledgements. Management and Coordination. Hernani Dias. Project Management. João Rodrigues, Bragança City Council. Maria José Teixeira, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Museology. Ana Souza, CP Portuguese Trains. EPE. Carla Serapicos Silvério, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Daniel Duarte, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Eduardo Beira, Chairman UNESCO, Life on Land, University of Porto. Hugo Silveira Pereira, New University of Lisbon, York University. Mara Covas, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Maria José Teixeira, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Nuno Silvério Barrento, Infrastructures of Portugal AS, APAC, Friends of the Railway Association. Paula Azevedo, Infrastructures of Portugal AS, IP, Property, Real Estate Administration and Management AS. Museography. Daniel Duarte, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Ana Fontes, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Gema Digital. Content Management. Carla Separicos Silvério, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Research and Production of Contents. Ana Souza, CP Portuguese Trains, EPE. Carla Separicos Silvério, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Eduardo Beira, Chairman UNESCO, Life on Land, Porto University. Fernanda Rodrigues, Infrastructures of Portugal AS. Luís Santos, New University of Lisbon, York University. João Galhardo, National Railway Network, REFER, EP. Retired. Leonor Mendes, Infrastructures of Portugal SA, APAC, Friends of the Railway Association. Paula Azevedo, Infrastructures of Portugal AS, IP, Property, Real Estate Administration and Management AS. Pedro Meda Magalhães, Porto University, APAC, Friends of the Railway Association. Content Transfer. António Sampaio, Parliamentary Historical Archive. Photographic Archive, Carlos Pinto, CP Portuguese Trains, EPE. Detlef Chicor, Eduardo Beira, Gonçalo Ribeira, Institute for Mobility and Transport, IP, Infrastructures of Portugal, AS, João Cunha, Joan Jacob Smith, Jorge Custódio, José Souza, Martin van der Velden, Pedro André, Pedro Meda Magalhães. Fostua Project, www.fostua.com. RTP, Portuguese Radio and Television, AS. Graphic Design Audiovisual and Multimedia, Gema Digital. Translation, Agostinho Ramos, Polytechnic Institute of Bragança, Gema Digital. Conservation and Restoration, Judith Roque, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Henrique Souza, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Conservation and Restoration Nuclei Team of the National Railway Museum. Bragança City Council's Team: Vitor Padrão, Lia João, Clara André, Fernando Chopina. Inventory: Mara Covas, Armando Ginestal Machado National Railway Museum Foundation. Movement of Circulating Material, MF, Railway Equipment Maintenance Company, AS and Team. Institutional Support: CP Portuguese Trains, EPE. MF, Railway Equipment Maintenance Company, AS and Team. Infrastructures of Portugal, AS, IP, Real Estate Administration and Management. Acknowledgements: CP Portuguese Trains, EPE. MF, Railway Equipment Maintenance Company, AS. Infrastructures of Portugal, AS, IP, Real Estate Administration and Management, AS. APAC, Friends of the Railway Association, Institute for Mobility and Transport, IP. Parliamentary Historical Archive, Photographic Archive, Fostua Project, www.fostua.com. António Sampaio, Carlos Pinto, Detlef Chicor, Fernando Pedreira, Gonçalo Ribeira, João Cunha, João Jacob Smith, José Souza, Martin van der Velden, Pedro André, Carlos, Train Conductor, André, Jorge Gomes, Head of Station, Valdemar Paes. Bragança City Council, Forte São João de Deus, 5300-263, Bragança. Telephone, +351 275 304 200. National Railway Museum, Rua Engenheiro Ferreira de Mesquita, Number 1A, 2330-152, Entroncamento. Telephone, +351 249 130 382, www.fnmf.pt. Technical acknowledgements. This audio narration was produced within the project Culture for All Bragança of the Municipality of Bragança, financed by the European Social Fund. Reference North 074230 FSE 000058, being developed by the Polytechnic Institute of Bragança. The voice talents in English are by Ricardo Santos and José Luís de Castro. The audio and video editing was by André Pinho.